Hello, welcome to the Meet RX Success Story podcast. I'm Tracy, your host, and I'm a coach at Meet RX. I'm here today with a very sweet lady named Karen. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Tracy. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good, good.
I'm excited to hear your story. Can you tell me, like at the beginning, how did you, what kind of foods did you eat prior to coming to a meat-based diet, and what were your health conditions?
Okay, well, I'm 61 years old. I ate all those delicious foods like everybody else in America eats that doesn't care what they're feeling like and everything else. You know, I ate the pastas. I'm Italian. Well, my grandparents all came from Italy. So my mom cooked Italian and I cooked Italian. So good. I think I'm a really good cook. And now I feel so bad because I don't cook those delicious things. And my friend said, you need to teach your grandkids and my sons that are adults, you need to teach them all your secret sauce and everything else. And I need to do that. Maybe my granddaughters, some grandkids one of these days have a Nana's cooking class or something. I don't know. So what did I eat? I ate, you know, the pizzas and the sandwiches for lunch and the French toast for breakfast. My mother always made us great breakfast and pancakes. And of course I did to my kids too. And I did eggs and occasionally I do bacon. Now I buy so much bacon, but that was my breakfast. Cereal, of course, cereal, and not just one bowl of cereal. Oh, I put fruit in it though, so I made it better by putting the berries in it. That was good. Yeah, right. And then lunchtime, I grew up eating sandwiches in my lunch. I didn't do school lunch a lot. I like my mother's stuff better with the tomato and the lettuce. So, oh, that makes it really healthy. With the meats, the salami, the roast beef, or the ham and the cheese, and good bread. I grew up in New Jersey, and the bread there is amazing. I came out to the Midwest, to Illinois, and the bread wasn't so good. The bagels in Jersey were phenomenal. Out here, I'm in the middle of nowhere, Western Illinois, and the bread's not good. Bagels, they didn't even have bagels. I found one place a half an hour away I'd get bagels. Now, they all have them, but they're refrigerated or frozen. They're not as good. But anyway, I don't eat bagels anymore. I could eat the cream cheese though, but I don't eat the bagels. So that was my breakfast and lunch, you know, the sandwiches. That's when I went to school, and then growing up as an adult, whatever, some more sandwiches, but my husband wasn't a fan. And then dinner, I always made a nice dinner. The bread, the meats and the vegetables and the potatoes or the rice or the quinoa, even when I got a little more healthier. I would do that. We didn't do bread too often, but we had desserts sometimes. I grew up desserts sometimes. And, but I snacked. I had the candy. I'm a teacher. I'm a PE teacher. Those kids would, you know, Valentine's Day is coming up. I guarantee I'll get a bag of goodies. My son's also a PE teacher, and I'll take a picture of my stuff and my Valentine's Day cards. How many did you get? So I'm very competitive. Lots of people that know me know that. So it's just fun. But I won't eat those. I'll bring them home and give some to my husband. Some I'll just throw away. Some I'll give to some other people. But I don't care about it anymore. I really don't. But snacks, I would snack all the time. I always had goodies in my drawer. Like I'm a PE teacher in a kindergarten or fifth grade building. And my office is right off of my gym. And if I needed something, I'd go run into my office. I didn't really do that too often. But I would, after classes, I'd have a little snack or whatever. I do not need snacks anymore. None. At night, I used to have a snack, watching TV before I went to bed. I don't need any snacks anymore. I don't need them. I have no desire. Sometimes when I'm cooking my dinner or breakfast or lunch, I might snack on a little bit of the cheese that I'm cooking with. Or if I cook ribeyes, I cook a lot in a frying pan, believe it or not. And I'll chop off my husband's fat and some of my fat on the cap, and I'll rip the cap, and I'll cook that up to get the grease, and then I'll cook my meat in it. But then I eat his fat and my fat, and then pour those drippings on top. And sometimes I'll put the fat on top and pour the drippings, or just get a toothpick and put them in a little container and eat them like my appetizer while I'm still cooking. So, but dinners were typical American dinners. The pasta, lasagna, the big ziti, Italian foods. chicken parmesan, breaded, whatever. And so that's what that's about. And then the nuts and the Italian bread and the fruit. Oh, I was big into fruit, big into fruit. Every now and then I still have fruit every now and then, especially on Sundays when my grandkids come over. I'll buy stuff for them and my husband, and I'll slice a little bit of a pear, and I'll have a couple or sometimes three. I'm like, that's enough. So I'll still, but berries, I ate all kinds of fruit before, but now I don't. A little bit I do now.
Yeah,
So,
I understand. I was a big fruit person myself. I loved watermelon, all the melons, all the summer fruits, of course.
yes.
It was
Yeah.
hard to give up, but actually, they never come to mind now.
Oh, that's good. Like I said, I do a little bit. I know I shouldn't, but I do, and I'm still here. So.
Yeah, definitely. So it sounds like you have been kind of health minded because you mentioned the quinoa, and I was wondering, did you have any health conditions before? And were you on a health quest? I know you're a PE teacher, so.
Right. Before I had blood pressure for probably high blood pressure for probably 35 years, 25, 30 years, high cholesterol, had to take a water pill because it still wasn't being managed. I was on a CPAP machine. Talk about a non-scale victory. To get rid of that. So awesome. I had achy joints, my knees and my ankles, and that was part of the reason I went carnivore when we get to that part. But I don't have any more joint pain. I do if I eat something like popcorn. That's another thing. When my grandkids come around, there's a place around here that has the best popcorn. They pop it right there, and it's amazing. It's only open a few times a month in the wintertime, and I'll pick some up for my grandkids. And sometimes I'll have a little bit. If I have a little bit, a cup, that's okay. But if I have more, like maybe 3 cups, those are my big downfalls: fruit and popcorn. If I eat too much of that, my next day or even a few hours later, my joints, my knees will feel it. I'll feel it in my knees. I'm like, I knew I shouldn't have had that. I knew it. I'll feel the next day. I knew it. So I know what I need to do, but there's still a couple things. I'm getting better and better. Sunday's my hardest day. And if I get through a Sunday eating well, I'm happy. I got some people that say, Karen, how'd you do? We'll check on me Sunday night. How'd you do? Well, or I'll say, yay, I did great. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I can understand about grandchildren and having them over and everything. And is your husband not carnivore?
He is not, but he loves the way I cook. He loves that I have ribeye or T-bone once or twice a week. He loves that. I used to hardly ever. I'd make it 3 times a year, maybe on Father's Day, make a ribeye or T-bone. Now it's twice a week a lot of times, and he absolutely loves it. I used to buy the chicken and the pork and the white meats.
Yeah.
And now, boy, I just love that beef. I get a quarter cow. Actually, 7 months ago, I got one, and now I got another one just last week. And all my friends know I like the offals, as I say it, offals, the heart, the tongue, and the oxtail. Oh, man, my friend contacted me today. Karen, I got an oxtail for you. My state representative gives me those oxtail and the heart and the tongue because she knows I like it. And my family likes it too, so I'll make it as a special treat. My 5-year-old granddaughter likes the heart. So it's just fun. It's just fun to eat those. Does my body crave it like I hear people say? I don't think so, but I never ate these foods pre-carnivore. I never did. But boy, do I like them now. I really enjoy them. Love them.
Yeah.
Love it.
So how long have you been carnivore?
I've been carnivore for 13 months. Before that, I was keto, low carb, maybe keto the last year for 2 years and 3 months. And I love that keto. Keto is really what put me on the health wagon. And carnivore, though, has kicked it up a notch and stepped it up, and I'm not going back. So the keto, I wanted to go off cholesterol meds, and because I was getting healthier, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go off those meds because that's probably why my knees hurt. I'm going to go off that. So I went off, and I went to see my doctor a couple months later, and he yelled at me because my numbers were high. You're not supposed to go off that. I'm like, oh well. So he said, I was afraid he's going to yell at me and tell me to go on. And I said, give me some time. Give me some time. I said, give me a month. He said, Karen, I'll give you 3 months. He said, have you ever thought of low carb? I said, I did Atkins 20 years ago, and I had a lot of success with Atkins. I said, I can do that. I did Atkins, lost probably about 40 pounds. I was even running, and then I hurt my knee. I had to have surgery, and then I was a mess after that. Gained it all back. Then I said, oh, I'm going to count calories. So I counted calories, lost some weight. That was kind of fun. Then I had I don't know, another injury or something. I was still on all my meds. Said, yeah, I gained it all back. Then I kind of I'm very active. Me and my friends, we have a club called the Yak Yak Sisters. Find us on Facebook. Like us on Facebook. We're a kayaking group. We started as kayakers, but we branched out. We snowshoe. We play pickleball. We go hiking. We go biking. Walking is boring. We don't walk. We do all those other fun things. I'm probably missing something. We go to movies. We dress up and go to movies. Of course, this is pre-COVID. We haven't done anything. We have parties. Anyway, I saw there's a lot of people, and I kind of feel like I get them motivated because I started this. They kind of call me the captain. That's kind of funny. There's like 1,000 people on Facebook. I don't know them all, but a lot of people have come to join us with these kayaking events and snowshoeing and various other things. More so pre-COVID time. It's not so active right now. But anyway, I'll bring my food with me. We went hiking this summer, and I'll bring my heart and hamburger chunks. What are you eating today, Karen? You want to try? And I bring toothpicks. And I encourage them to try these odd kind of organ meats, and some do and some don't. I brought all my teachers little chunks of them one day and let them try them. I had about 25 people. One said, I had them before, I don't want it. One said they didn't like it, and everybody else said, not bad. So I like to encourage people to try different things. I never push anybody to be carnivore. I suggest doing low carb or keto to them. And if they like it, then I tell them about carnivore. That's because that's radical, I think. Kind of.
Yeah, carnivore is pretty limited. It seems
It is
like,
limited.
in some people's eyes, but if
Right.
you do it for a while, it's like normal.
It's so easy. I love it. I got that quarter cow. I just went, got to my freezer, brought up about 8 different kinds of meats and put it in my freezer upstairs. I'll be good for the week. I got cheek meat. I never had cheek meat before. I bought hanger steak. I never had that before, but I can get it now from my local butcher. I bought suet and fat. I chop up the fat, freeze it in a cookie sheet, and put it in a baggie in the freezer. And I take out a handful, cook it up in a frying pan for breakfast, cook up some eggs in that fat. Oh, it's such a good breakfast. Such a good breakfast. So filling. I buy suet and I shred it. I chunk it up. I cooked it down in a crock pot with water. I cooked it a couple times, put it in the fridge, put it back. And I added olive oil and essential oils, and I made a tallow cream. And I've shared it with numerous of my friends. I've even mailed it to people. So it's kind of fun to do that. So I'm using as much of the animals I can. And the tallow, I love it on my skin. I think it feels really good, and it's good for you. So I'm really embracing this carnivore. It's fun.
Right. So, okay, so you were keto and calorie counting and so forth. How did you find out about the carnivore diet?
Okay, so doing keto, in 3 months, I lost like 30 pounds, and I felt great. Then I got off my blood pressure pills. I already went off my cholesterol, so that was good. But I stayed with the CPAP because I wasn't sure, I better stay with it because I get stuffy if I don't. So I stayed with the CPAP. But at 3 months, I was so much better in keto. Unbelievable. And I made the fat bombs. I did the almond flour. I had all the different fake sugars. And I did the cruciferous vegetables. And I still did a lot of chicken, a lot of pork, a lot of beef, not a ton of beef, but some beef. When I bought a quarter cow, then it lasted me way longer than a year. Now, shoot, half a month. And I'm sorry, half a year, and it's gone or almost gone. It's pretty amazing. But anyway, lots better in keto. I love keto. Then I didn't feel 100%. I still had some of the pains. And then it was Thanksgiving. I was 2 years into it. It was Thanksgiving. And we had some people from China that came to stay with us. This is over a year ago. And, I got some extra treats in the house for them. Well, the two people. Yeah, right. I had some of that panettone bread, this Italian bread that you could only get around Christmas time. That's so good. Had a little of that for 3 mornings in a row, and a little this, a little that. And by the time a couple weeks into it, I could see my ankle was swollen. I played a lot of sports through my years. I played 3 sports in high school. I played field hockey at college. I got a scholarship to play field hockey, a full scholarship to play field hockey at college. So that was pretty cool. So I played a lot of sports, basketball, field hockey, softball, and track. So anyway, I'm a PE teacher, I'm active, but my ankle was killing me. And I'm limping, and people are like, what's the matter? I said, my ankle hurts. Well, you better go to the doctor. I'm like, I know what's wrong with me. I just need to stop eating some of this keto crap. So I need to stop it. But I was still eating the macadamia nuts, not 3 or 4 or 5, a little handful sometimes. And the almonds, oh my gosh, with the almonds, I started out good and then I'd have too many. So I said, I know what I need to do. I was listening to a lot of Ken Berry videos, YouTube videos. And he was saying carnivore. And I'm like, that's crazy. I heard him say it for a few months. That's crazy. How could you just eat meat? There's no way. How could you just eat meat? Well, I said, you know what? My ankle's killing me. I'm gonna try it. I tried it. One day, 2 days, 3 days later, that ankle that was killing me was 100% better, 100%. All that inflammation was gone. Unbelievable. So I'm like, I can't believe 3 days I feel magnificent. It was 3 weeks. I couldn't even hardly walk. I didn't play pickleball. I could barely walk. I eat upstairs at school and I would walk down the stairs and I'd have to walk like an old lady, 2 feet at a time because my ankle hurt so bad. And that was for years, pre-keto or pre-low carb. Years I'd walk down the steps gingerly because my joints would hurt. Now I could just bound down them, just like those 20-year-olds go down those stairs. I'm going down there right after like that. So I don't have any of that pain. So my joints, my knees, and my ankles, those are my biggest victories. I didn't lose a ton of weight on this. Well, I don't know, 8 pounds or so since I started. But the inflammation is what I like, being gone. And I'm not painful. It hit me the other day. I woke up and I'm laying in bed, and normally I'd have to get out of bed real slowly. I'd be hurting pre-keto and stuff. I could get out of bed, walk, no problem, because I'm not in pain when I sleep and when I wake up. I lay on my back would hurt, I roll on my side, my hip would hurt. I don't have any of that, and that's why I'm not going back. That's why. That's pretty amazing.
That is. That's very amazing, Karen.
Yeah.
So I was curious to know, did you have any issues with transitioning from keto to carnivore?
Just eating those fatty ribeyes with the extra fat. I wouldn't even get done eating and I have to go to the bathroom because it went right through me. It took a little while for that. I still occasionally have some problems with that, but it's tons better than when I first started. It was like, whoo, you couldn't be too far from the bathroom after I eat those fatty meals. So I've learned to taper it down. No, who am I kidding? I still like that fatty. I would never eat the fat. I would always cut that off. Never eat the fat. Now I eat my husband's fat. Hey, that's good. That's good. Or I'll save it for the next day. You add it to another meal. It's not as fat. I'm telling you about all these unique foods I've eaten. I love pork belly. Oh my goodness, is that outstanding? That is good. I have to drive a half an hour to get it because none of my stores have it. I live in a town of 650 people. Hey, fun thing. I was on Kelly Hogan's last Carnivore News. I was a newscaster, and that was so much fun. And somebody from a town about 15 minutes away saw me on that. And she recognized me from the park district. She worked there, and I'd go and play pickleball or lift or whatever. And she sent me a message on Facebook, Karen, oh my gosh, you're carnivore, so am I. So we got talking, and now I met up with her yesterday for the first time, and we're gonna get together. She's gonna give me some duck eggs. I've never had duck eggs. So it's just fun, the friendships. Another guy I'm friends with, he used to live in Illinois, he's in Florida now. He said, Karen, I heard Kelly Hogan mention you. You know Kelly Hogan? I'm like, yeah, isn't that cool? And this community is amazing. So Dr. Ken Berry brought me here because listen to his videos about carnivore. And boy, I swear, this community is awesome. It's awesome. I really feel like I've gotten to be friends with people. You know, I've talked to you numerous times. And ShawnBaker, man, I'm all about Instagram because of carnivore people. I'm all about it. ShawnBaker's got some fantastic, if you're not on Instagram, people, go check him out. Go check him out. I'm on Instagram for carnivore. Kelly Hogan, I got to know her on Facebook, but I got a short interview with her back on April 2nd. That was pretty cool. She did a bunch of regular carnivore people, and I got in. I was like 4 months into it. But I got to be friends with her. And Bella, Steak and Butter Gal, got to be friends with her. The carnivore doctor, I met up with her last summer because I was in her area vacationing. She had a meetup because I was coming to town. We walked on the boardwalk. Judy Cho, I love Judy Cho. I got her book. I've talked to her numerous times. I've asked her lots of questions. So I'm just saying this community is just awesome. I just love it. Love it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
But I'm in a closet. I don't put myself out there. I do very little things on Instagram about being carnivore, not a lot. But on my Facebook, I've said like one thing. I put that video Carnivore News from last week on there. But other than that, I'm too chicken on my Facebook. Those are my friends. So anyway, but I said privately I'll send people stuff. But Instagram's where it's at. If you're not on, I don't post a lot, but I'm Karen.S.Miles.3. Just saying, we're friends, Tracy. You and I.
Right. Yeah, it is a great place. That's where you find a lot of carnivores.
And they're active. They talk to you. Who knew? I didn't know there was such a thing that they talk to you like that. You message them or tag them. Oh my gosh, is that fun? I've been having a blast doing that. Yep. And I was like new up and coming ones. You can see them rising. I'm not looking to grow my page at all. I'm not doing YouTube, so I'm not doing that. But boy, do I love supporting these people and being their cheerleader and supporting them, you know, and encouraging those people. They're doing a great job. I'm too chicken to do it, but they're not. We need that. We need that.
Right. Well, Karen, thank you so much for sharing your story. It's amazing to me that you can change things that like your joints and things that were hurting you so badly. And you did lose some weight and you're never going back, never going back.
Nope, not going back. Not
That's
going back.
awesome. That's awesome. Do you eat 2 meals a day or 1 meal a day?
2 or 3.
Okay.
I eat 2 or 3. I go to school and I'm thinking, I don't want to be hungry at school, but I'll eat 2 or 3. This morning I did something, who posted it? Maybe Carnivore Yogi, I think. I make my own bone broth occasionally, a couple times a month, and I have my own homemade bone broth, and I whipped up an egg with my mixer and warmed up the bone broth and put a little butter in the bone broth and poured my hot bone broth on that egg and mixed that up again. That was delicious, and that was my breakfast, and that was outstanding. I'm doing that again, and I'm making some broth this weekend. Yep.
Yum. Yeah, that sounds good. It makes me think of Steak and Butter Gal's egg drop soup.
Yeah, that's good too. Her egg pudding has blown up the carnivore world. It's so good. I make that a few times a week too. I went and bought special accessories and a trivet. Right, Kelly? I sent somebody a trivet once. Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Karen. I know this will help many people just to hear all your tips and how you love the carnivore community and everything. Thank you so much for sharing with MeatRx and the community.
Thank you, Tracy. Nice talking. Really nice talking to you. Again, done it before. All right. Take care.
Have a
Bye.
great day. Bye-bye.